Good evening everyone, it's Tuesday night, so it is time for our level 2 mat class. So this is not a class for beginners, this is not a class for people who have balance issues or are struggling with injuries or maybe some physical issues and long-term health conditions. This class is ideal for those of you who have been practicing Pilates for quite a while and you're feeling fit and strong, so very welcome to you this evening. But as always, I have to let you know you're taking part in this class at your own risk, so do listen to your bodies, make sure that you're working safely and carefully. And we've got Emma in good, I didn't say good morning then, good evening. And Christine, lovely. Okay, so following on from last week, we're going to be using a little bit of apparatus, but all of these exercises you can do without. Okay, so you're going to need either a hedgehog or a cushion. So either will do. It's just to provide an unstable surface. So when we're stood and we're on the floor, it's firm and stable. So we just want something that's going to challenge your stability a little bit. So a cushion or a hedgehog will be absolutely fine. And then you're going to need ideally a resistance band, but some light hand weights will do, or a couple of tins out of the cupboard. Don't really need to go higher than 1 kilogram. 2 at a push, but 1 kilogram's absolutely fine. Okay, but resistance band ideally, if you've got one of those. And you can always do them without, so you don't have to have either of those. Okay, so I'm going to put that back down nice and safely. And making sure that my working area is clear. So I'm just going to put those out of the way because we don't need them right at the very beginning of the class. Okay, so it is past. Let's make a start then. And we're going to bring ourselves into that good standing posture. So just take a moment to think about what kind of a day you've had and what you need to do to your body to work it in a nice, safe kind of way. Is there anywhere that you can feel, just as you stand there, focusing on your breath, anywhere that's holding a bit of tension? Maybe your shoulders, maybe your lower back, maybe your jaw or even your forehead. So if there is, can you just take a big breath in for me and focus on that area? Feel and notice the tension. And then as you exhale, can you allow that area to just soften and relax? And just feel free to take a few more breaths, just trying to bring that body back into harmony, so nothing's over tight and nothing's too loose, so we're standing up tall with good posture. We've got the heels underneath the hip bones and we have the toes level and the feet parallel. And feeling that the kneecaps are soft and our arches are lifted. And then finding that neutral pelvis by exhaling and making sure that we're lifting up from the hip bones towards the ribs rather than just drawing in at the waistband. Okay, from there, let's lengthen up through the throat as well. Softly lift the base of the skull so the chin is down and the shoulders are relaxed back. And we'll just take a moment there. Feel free to close the eyes and take a deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. Are you feeling like you're swaying a little bit? Has it been a tough day? Is our mind and body a little bit out of sync? One more, just see if you can find that steady centre through the feet. Don't worry if you can't, if you're still a little bit swayed. It's been a tough day. Okay, from there we are actually going to come into some sways now. Let's keep the feet flat onto the floor and we're going to press forwards into the toes and then pressing back into the heels. And as you feel this movement happen, I'd like to just connect. Feel what what's switching on, what's working to keep you safe, what's working to stop you bending at the waist or at the hips. And we're just going nice and slowly. Follow the rhythm of your breath. And then could you just notice your knees for me? Especially as you rock back, are your knees locking out? See if you can keep them soft for me. We're going to go one more each way. But you can really feel how far we can go with the feet staying down. Now let's just challenge ourselves. We're going to take the arms forwards as you sway forwards. And then as you come back, could you think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and drawing the arms back? So we're swaying forwards. And as we come back into the heels, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Try and hold that steady. You'll probably want to come back to being evenly balanced through the feet when you do that, but just see if you can stay in those heels with that lean back. Keeping the chin down, rib cage connected. Let's go for a couple more. And back into the heels. One more each way. Why is it every time I do this I manage to find the creaky bit of the floor? One last one. And back again. Okay, from there we're going to come into some single arm floats. So just one arm, choose which arm it is, doesn't matter which. We're staying here, you're just going to take one arm forwards, the other arm back. And down. So let's keep growing taller. I know this seems like a really simple move, but what I'd like you to try and get used to is lifting out of the hips and switching that core on. And you might find that you get just a little bit of movement through the shoulders, that's okay. But what we want to try and do at level 2, if your spine is fine, is to keep the hips fixed. So I'm going to take that little turn, allow the shoulders to just start moving a little bit. And we're making sure that shoulder opens. And the knees are staying soft. Have you still got those arches lifted? Can you feel what's happening with your feet? We're going to take that a little bit bigger now. So we're going to allow the back arm to turn so both palms are facing forwards and back down. So we're not going to fix the pelvis in concrete. We want to try and turn as much as we can without it moving, but we're going to let it go a little bit. Think about that rib cage turning first. Let's get a big breath in here. And back down. Let's do 2 more. Turn and stretch, reaching out. As long as this feels okay for your body and your shoulders. Last one. Breath in. Let's reach. And come back down. Now from there, can you take your arms forward and fold them into Cossack for me? We're going to widen those collarbones and make sure the chin is back. Spread your toes out for me. Let's lift the heels. Don't go too high to begin with. And then slowly roll back down. So we're going to do this nice and slowly. And I'd like you to try and think of this as being very different from your sway. So with the sway, it was very much about forwards and back. With the calf raises, this is very much up and down. Can you start to go a little bit higher? Make sure that big toe stays on the floor. And if we really pull up as we do this, we can also lift the pelvic floor and feel a good activation of those legs and glutes. Pulling right up and down. Let's do 2 more. Pulling up and lowering down. One last one. Now we're going to go quickly down and up, down, up, down. Think of really working through the feet. This is mobility at the ankle. This is arch strength. This is calf strength. Pulling up. And 7, 6, 5, Okay, let's take those arm floats the other way now. So we're staying hip distance. Let's just take the other arm forwards and back down. Start to inhale. So just the arm to begin with, and feeling that we're lifting from the little finger. Growing taller, use that core. Now, can we start to take it just a little bit further and start to feel the shoulders move just a touch. A little bit of rotation in the upper part of the body. One more. Okay, now making it bigger if that's appropriate and feels good. Stretching out. And back again. Inhale, reach. And exhale, come back. So rib cage is turning. Little bit of movement of the pelvis, but not too much. Are your kneecaps still soft? Maybe you can feel the change in pressure in your feet. Let's give that 2 more. Last one. And down. Okay, from there, we're now going to bring the heels together and come into first position, but I'd like that to have happened from the hips. So we're squeezing round, turning those legs out. It doesn't need to be a deep turn out, but I'd like to focus. We're going to go up and down again. Spread those toes out and make sure you're pressing down into the second toe. You go over into that little toe, you're going to lose your balance. So we need to focus. Let's take those collarbones wide. Can you come back into Cossack for me with the other arm on top? So let's take those collarbones wide, and we're lifting up slowly and lowering down slowly. So it should feel a little bit different. Try and really pull those heels together as you land. So we're pulling up and down. So it's controlled and slow. Try and close that gap as you lower. It's not always that easy, is it? Pull those thighs together. We'll do a couple more. And then this next one, let's stay in that rise. Can you give me some quick ones? Just touching the heels down and back up. And up. Work those feet. Think of really lifting the heels. Try and stay balanced. And 3. And 2. Close the gap. Last one. And down. Okay, arms down. Let's give the shoulders a roll. Right, we're going to come into a split stance now. But first of all, let's take a calf stretch. So I'd like you to step that leg back, heel pointing away from you, hips are square, and let's push that heel down. Feel that lovely stretch. Now if that feels like you could go a little bit deeper, let's lunge forwards. Keep the heel down, lengthen the spine, and breathe into that stretch. And then we're going to push up, and we're going to step in a little because I don't want a wide stance for this. We're going to our split squats. So to begin with, we're just going to leave the arms hanging, chin back, rib cage connected. Let's send the hips back, make it a small bend at the knees. Are they going over the toes? And pull back up. So you're going to hinge, let the arms swing forwards, they're just hanging down, side of the knees, and back up. Hinge, send the hips back, sit towards that back heel. Can you start to go a little bit deeper for me? Maybe you could add in an arm float too. See how that feels. So we are hinging back. Remember, if your knees don't like it, keep it a little bit smaller, but it might be that they don't like it because you're not hinging first. Okay, so really important that we get that movement of sending the hips back before we lower. We're going to do 2 more. And then one last one. now. Step that back foot into tandem. Okay, same pressure in both feet. Squeezing the thighs together, we're going to take the opposite arm forwards and turn. Now you can keep this small, like we did at the beginning, or you can come into this big opening movement. Sorry, I am turning my back on you, it's very rude, but I was obviously facing the wrong way. Big breath in. 2 more. Are your kneecaps still soft? 1 last one. Inhale. And down. Okay, from there, step onto the front foot, slide the back leg out, come onto the big toe. Now just make sure you haven't locked this knee at the front. Can you reach the arms up? Stretch the leg away, lift and tap. So we're keeping the hips square. I'm not letting this hip follow the leg round, and I'm keeping my spine neutral, drawing the abdominals in. Exhale for 2 more. Last one. And stepping in so that we can change sides. So let's step back for that calf stretch first of all. So pushing that heel away, we're in a big split stance here, hips square. And then if you feel you need to deepen that stretch, give the calf a little bit more. Then lunge forwards onto that front leg. Tall spine and long deep breaths. And then let's push up onto that front leg and just step the back leg in a little. So we're back to that split stance. Okay, arms relaxed down. We're going to allow them to move as we come into that squat. So sending the hips back down into that squat. Just keep it small for the first couple so that you get used to it being a squat rather than a lunge, sitting towards that back heel. See how your knees are feeling with it. Do they feel different on this side? If you can you start to come a little bit deeper and add in an arm float. So we're hinging back and very much feeling that back leg do most of the work. Let's do 2 more of these. 1 last one, knees over toes. And pushing up now. Let's step into tandem, toe to heel. And we're pulling the thighs together, pulling up tall. Let's lift the pelvic floor. And we're going to turn and open. Inhale. Is the shoulder down. And swing back. So just allow that arm to lift as far as you can with the shoulder staying down. And rotate. That's such a good move for your spine and for shoulder stability and back strength. Really nice. Keep pulling up and squeezing those thighs together. Engage the inner thighs. Breath in, let's stretch it out. And bring it down. Okay, from there, stepping onto the front leg. Slide the leg behind you, come onto the toe. Can you reach the arms forwards? Take a breath in. Let's exhale, lift the toe and tap. Two more. Last one. And down and let Okay, from there, just give me a shoulder roll. And we're going to bring the chin back. I'd like you to lengthen the back of the neck and just curl down just as far as the rib cage. Let's keep the pelvis upright. Take a breath into the back. And exhale, curl up, and as we do so, let's take the arms up too. Breath in. Stretching up. And down. Okay. Now you can stay hip distance for this next one. We're going to go into some side bends. If you would like to challenge yourself a little bit more, bring your feet together. Okay, so staying tall, we're just going to take the arms slightly away from the body, and I'd like you to lift out of the hips. Can you lengthen over to the side and back up? Not a big movement, just lengthening out as though you're reaching for something up there, up where the ceiling and the wall meet. Now if this feels okay, you could start to make that movement a little bit bigger. We could take the arms out. Could you take a bigger stretch? If your shoulders don't like this, keep the arms down, or you might want to take them across the chest. Stay pulling up so the hips aren't moving, legs aren't moving, and we're squeezing the knees together. Now if the shoulders are okay with it, how about we see what happens if we take the hands behind the head, keep the chin nodded and push the base of the skull into the fingertips. Could you relax your shoulders down and pull the elbows out wide? Okay, let's go over. If it doesn't feel okay, come back to one of those other arm positions. Let's pull up tall. Pull up in the middle and then lengthen over. We're keeping the elbows back, and we're thinking about maintaining distance between the hips and the ribs. Let's do one more each way, but this time we're going to add in an open. Let's come over. Can you exhale, reach out? And back in. Over. Reach out. Come back in. And up. Let's release those arms. Give the shoulders a roll. Okay, we're coming back to that split stance now. So we are coming into an arm swing with it. So it doesn't matter which one you go for first. So this is back to your squat. So this time, instead of coming straight down, we're going to sit back, we're going to swing the opposite arm and come back up. Now you can keep it small, you can keep it here, because what we want to maintain is that alignment with the hips, the knees and the feet. So if we start to turn the body, are we going to lose that? So as you come down, if I get you to turn further, does it all go awry? Or can you maintain that and isolate that movement? So we're hinging back, sit towards that back leg, turn. Now we're going to do one more. Now, turn back, palms facing away from you. Lift and squeeze the shoulders back and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, so it's very much shoulder blades squeezing. 2 and 1. Pushing up and stepping in. Let's go to the other side, so I'll turn around and then I'm not turning my back on you this time. So coming back to that split stance, remember we're going to hinge first. It's not too wide. Opposite arm comes forwards. So no rotation to begin with, because we want to just check we're keeping knees and hips aligned, arches lifted. Okay, can we make that a bit bigger? Can we add in that turn and the knees are still going forwards? The hips are still staying in alignment, we're not hitching. Okay, really need to watch for that. Opening out. We've got 2 more. Into that hinge. And up. Remember, we're holding this one, so let's turn back. Palms down, lift, squeeze. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And pushing up and stepping in. Right, fantastic. From there, we're going to grab either your cushion or your hedgehog. So whatever it is that you're using to give you a little bit of an unstable base. Right, so we're going to have the hedgehog rocking forwards and back, or if you've got a cushion, you're just going to step that onto the floor. And remember, you can do this without. So, starting whichever side you'd like to, and step the foot into the middle, just make sure your hips are level. So this hamstring is switched on. Right, now we're going to push up and lift that leg. We're going to swing it forwards and back, bent knee, flamingo. Can you keep your hog steady? One more each way. Fantastic. Bring that knee up into a knee lift. Can you hold? Can you take the arms up? And bring them out. And let's step it down. Well done. Let's go to the other side. So into the middle. Hips level, because I want you to feel like you push through this leg. So push through the leg, through the foot, lifting this leg. Remember, most of us have a good side and a not as good side, and we usually like to start with our good side. Automatically, our brain knows. And this is definitely not my quite as good side. So into that flamingo swing. And back, 2 more. Last one. And then let's come up into a knee lift. Pull up tall. So, oh, I'm going. Use that core. Lost my concentration for a moment. Lift the arms. And then stepping it down. Oh, okay, right. We're going to come down onto the hedgehogs now into kneeling. So could you turn your hedgehog through 90 degrees for me now, so it's rocking side to side? So last week we did this with the hedgehog rocking forwards and back. Now we're going to make it a little bit trickier. And we actually want the band as well. You can do this without. So let's put knee onto the hedgehog. And I would like, if you can at the back, to stretch your foot and lift your toes off the floor. Have them resting down just for now though, while we get into position. So you're going to take the other leg out to the side, and can you think about pressing your little toe down into the floor? So I'd like you to have that outside edge of your foot connected to the floor. So hips are square, ribs are square, lift that toe at the back. Let's take the band up. We're going to take it behind the head and stretch over. I want you to reach for that foot. Now push up and pull up. Release. Come over. Push down. Push up. Use that tension. Come up. Over. Push. and push, and up. It's a lovely tricep exercise as well as fantastic for your abdominals. And push, and up. Couple more. Over, push down, push up, and up. Now this last one we're going to hold. So let's come over, push down. Now bring it in, and we're going to push 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. And let's bring it down. Just give those shoulders a roll for me. Let's bring that in. Let's change sides. So a little bit trickier there. Right, leg out, hips are square. Press that little toe down on the whole of that outside blade of the foot. Float your toes off the floor at the back. Okay, we've got that band. Shoulders are staying down. Let's come up and stretch over. Push down, push up. Use that tension. Come up and bring it in. So we're going over, push down, push up, and coming up and in. Over, push down, push up, and up. 3 more. We're nearly there. Push. And up. 2 more. Let's go over. Reach. We're lifting out of the hips. Push down. Push up. And up. 1 more. And push. Let's hold. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Let's bring the arms down and give those shoulders a roll. Okay, you can bring that leg back in now. Right, so we're going to come onto the hedgehog into seated now. So you're going to have the hedgehog, I'm going to sit facing that way, so whichever way you're sitting on it, the hedgehog is going to be tilting forwards and back, okay? So we want to try and have our sitting bones right in the middle. So if you've got a band or weights, just pop those to the side for now. Our feet and knees are hip distance and we've got all the toes down. Think about keeping the feet pressing into the floor. And we're going to sit tall. Okay, without tilting the hedgehog, can you take an exhale? Curl and lengthen back. And inhale up. Really lift up tall. Exhale, tuck under and curl back. Inhale, lifting up. Feeling that nice chest lift. An extension, a little bit of extension at the top there. And up. We're going to do 1 more. Curling back. And up. Now, we're going to curl back. Let's take the arms free. Can you lift 1 leg, knee float, and down. Just touch the toe to the floor. Let's stretch those feet. So we're not rounding down through the upper back. Keep that lifted. Think of just tucking the pelvis under. Opposite arm to leg. Let's lift. And lift. And that's going to help you keep that chest lift as well. Chest lift. Tucked pelvis. The chest is lifting now. If you're feeling really brave, can you lift 1 leg? Can you take a breath out? Can you lift the other leg and hold? And wobble a lot. And hold. And coming down. And down. Right, heels down. Take a stretch over those legs. Breathe into the back. and curling back up. Okay, from there we're going to come back to that little curl. Can you hold it? Can you think of lengthening away from your hips? So rather than staying round and close to them, I want you to think that you're leaning away. Feet are down, feet are anchored. We're going to swing the arms up. We're going to swing them down. It's really quite hard. And down. Two more. Last one. And down and coming forwards and up. And lengthen. Right, okay, well done. We're going to come off that hedgehog now. For the moment, we're going to pop it to the side and we're going to come all the way down into the back. So rolling down safely. Make sure that the shoulders are open, you're resting on your little finger. We've got feet and knees hip distance, rib cage down, pelvis sitting level. Okay, so just check you've got the height of that arch nearer to your hips than your ribs, so we don't want to be tilted down and the ribs lifted. Ribs down, pelvis level, shoulders open. Okay, and we're just going to start with a stretch out. Not running out of space. Stretch out, and then we're going to flex the foot and lift. I don't want you to go past 90. You think of pushing that heel up to the ceiling, and then lower it down and draw it back in. Let's go to the other side. Stretch out, pelvis stays neutral, flex the foot, come up. So sciatic issues, maybe just keep the foot relaxed. Down and in. One more each side. Stretch and lift. Flex that foot. Down and in. Last one. Stretch and lift. Scoop it up. Down and in. Right. From there, feeling how the pelvis is sitting, I want you to imagine a thick, tight elastic band going all the way from your pubic bone all the way up to the bottom of your ribs. And we're going to think about tightening that band. So as we do that, if we shorten that band and pull the ribs and hips towards each other, the back comes into the mat. And then we release. So as you're doing that, could you think about your waistband for me, please? Are you just pulling in at the waistband, at your tummy button? Or are you feeling the whole of that band pull in? Nice and tight, all the way along. All the way from the pubic bone to the ribs. Let's do one more. Okay, now let's step one foot, just slide it a tiny little bit further away. So we've got one foot a little bit closer, one foot a little bit further away. Now come into that pelvic tilt again. So can you press into your heels and start to lift your hips? Curl up into shoulder bridge, push the knees forwards. Up at the top, push into the foot that's furthest away. Leg nearest you, let's come up. Flex, give me a bicycle. And round. Keep pushing through that other leg and keep the knee pressing forwards. Tempting as it is to rest back into your shoulders, make that leg work. Last one. And let's bring it down and curl back down. Okay, let's swap feet. So it's not a big difference between the feet. One's just slightly closer and one's slightly further away. And again, let's use those abdominals. Lengthen into the mat. Start to curl up, send the knee forwards, push into the heel. That's going to switch that glute on. Let's pick up the other leg, stretch. Can you give me some big bicycle pedals here? Keep pushing forwards, keep that leg working. Last one. And curling down. Okay, give the knees a hug in. Give those hips a little rock from side to side. Right, from there, let's release to tabletop, take the arms out, and we're going to go into knee drops from here. So can you, before we move, sorry, rushing into it there, just feel that you've got the same pressure on each side of your pelvis, and you actually feel anchored to the floor through the pelvis, the shoulder blades and the arms. Okay, now we're going to turn out. Think of leading with the knee and the foot follows the knee. Let's go to the other side, turning out. So a lot of people leave the foot behind and just come into rotation at the hip. We're actually taking that leg out to the side, the foot's going with you. Out we go. Try and stay anchored through the pelvis. One more to each side. Last one. And then lowering one foot at a time down onto the mat, and then let's step the feet wide, width of the mat. And we're going to turn the legs. Can you keep the ribs down? Take a breath in and relax. Now exhale to go all the way over to the other side. I've left my hedgehog in the way. Breath in to relax. So at the minute we're just moving through the hips and the pelvis. We're keeping the ribs fixed. Exhale to move, and we inhale to hold. Now let's add in the head, and you can let those ribs move a little if they need to. Let's turn the head, relax the knees right over, breath in. Exhale all the way over to the other side. Inhale. One more each way. Breath out to move. Breath in to hold. And up. Okay, from there, let's take the knees over one way. Bring the arm with us. We're going over. And we're going to come into propped position. So we've done some quite hard work with the legs today. Let's grab hold of one foot, bring the heel in towards the bottom, but make sure your knee is lined up with the rest of the body so it's not forwards, and we're not arching the back either. So exhale, draw in, push away from the floor. Give that quad a stretch. If it will go further back without your back arching, you can take it into a deeper stretch. And then bottom leg, can you draw that leg forwards and place your knee down behind the foot? We're taking the hand out onto the diagonal. Push away from the floor, lift out of that shoulder, take the arm out. We're going to sweep it across, lift the hips. Inhale. Exhale, come back down. Now, we're going to turn. Take that knee with you, stretch the other leg out behind you. If this isn't comfortable, come into a normal hip flexor stretch. But you're into pigeon now, so that back leg, knees on the floor, we're sat on the hip, we're coming down, lengthen over the knee. Now draw the shoulders back, come into swan dive for me. Start to lift by pulling the shoulder blades towards the hips, lift and stretch up. And let's lengthen over. This is a fantastic glute stretch as well. So if your knees don't like it, normal hip flexor stretch. And one more. Draw the shoulders back, lift. So we're pushing away from the floor, lifting through the back and getting some really nice extension. Okay, from there, roll onto the hip. Hug the knees in. And let's go over to the other side. So down onto the forearm. Taking hold of the top leg. Open the shoulder. Let's come into our quad stretch. Front of the thigh, breathing into it. And then to come out of it, let's draw that bottom leg forward. Put your knee down behind the foot. Take the hand out on a slight diagonal. Let's push away from the floor. Lift the arm. Take a breath in. Exhale, move. And inhale, hold that stretch. Lifting the hips. And then as we come back down, sit into the hip and rotating. Extend that leg behind you. I haven't quite got enough space. There we go. So you're on the knee. You want the back of your knee facing the ceiling. Let's bring the chest down. Remember, your alternative is a hip flexor stretching, kneeling. Shoulders back. Lift the chest. Think of stretching forwards, lifting the crown of the head away from the hips. Down for a breath in. Shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale. Lift. One more. Drawing back and lifting. Now just relax that position a little. Bring the knee back, so we're back onto both knees. Let's just take a cat stretch in both directions. Make sure you're in 4-point position. Take a breath in. Exhale, think about drawing up from the pubic bone towards the rib cage, stretching, and then the shoulders come back. We start to lift the heart, we stretch the other way, and back to neutral. Now let's tuck the toes. Can you push your heels away? Draw the shoulders back, lengthen the spine. And soften the knees to walk in. Just hang heavy for a moment. Swing the upper body side to side, keep your hips still. And then back to centre, take a breath in. Exhale, curling up. Restacking the spine. Let's take a big stretch up. And exhale. And very well done. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you enjoyed that. So if you like that and we want to do more of the same, we can work on that again next week and maybe put back in that lovely band work that we did in those squats last week. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll see you again soon.